Hey guys, what's up? It's Katie and I'm back with another Marvel Contest of Champions video. And today we are going to be going over the champion spotlight for Spider-Ham. Yes, gang, Peter Porker has entered the contest. So thanks to the CCP, I had early access to this information. So thanks, kabam. So let's go ahead and get it started. So let's take a look at a little bit about Spider-Ham. Peter Porker picked up a profession of punishing punks. How so, you ask? Well, Peter was once an everyday spider who, in a horrible accident involving a scientist and an atomic hairdryer, which seems a bit much, was bit by a radioactive pig. Peter was transformed, retaining all of his spider powers, but taking on the form of an anthropomorphic pig. With these new powers, he adopted the surname of the scientist who bit him, May Porker, and became Spider-Ham. Now he's set up to send the bad guys of the battle realm crying all the way home. So he's got some interesting mechanics. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. Spider-Ham places his patent pending Porker Poppers, love the name of that, on the opponent when he strikes them with medium attacks. These Porker Poppers are improved versions of Power Sting and deal additional damage to the opponent when they use a special attack. On top of that, he builds Spider Nonsense over time as long as the opponent has at least 1 bar of power, and the higher his nonsense is, the higher chance he has to reapply new Porker Poppers whenever they're triggered. Taunt and bait the opponent's specials at the right time to deal huge bursts of damage and give them a real dose of that slapstick. So it seems like he might have a little bit of a yellow jacket type thing going on with him. So this is definitely kind of a cool little mechanic that they added into him since he is a Spider-Verse champion. So let's go ahead and take a look at his base stats. He's not bad. Prestige-wise, he's a little lower than the past champions have been, but not by much. They still are hanging right around the 10-6 mark for a 5-star and 13,660 for a 6-star at rank 3. So let's take a look at his abilities. Now he is going to be a science class, and his basic abilities are the Spider Nonsense, Porker Popper, Spider Sense, and Taunt. Spider Sense, of course, because, well, he's a spider. So let's take a look at his strengths. Champions who launch repeated special attacks in quick succession. So champions like, your Sasquatch and Doom are able to activate a lot of special attacks back to back, which allows Spider-Ham to punish these champions by applying fresh Porker Poppers each time they activate another special, dealing a lot of damage. And then power gain champs. Spider-Ham's abilities are significantly improved while he has a high level of Spider Nonsense. Nonsense increases faster for each bar of power the opponent has, so against champions who gain additional power, he's able to spend more and more of the fight at high levels of Spider Nonsense. So when we fight him in the event quest, you're not going to want to bring in champs who do gain power like Hyperion, Doom, Vision Orcus, that sort of thing. All right, now that we've seen a little bit of his strengths, let's take a look at his weaknesses. Champions with powerful basic attacks. Spider-Ham is great at punishing special attacks with his Porker Poppers and Spider Nonsense. However, if a champion is able to get through a fight simply using powerful basic attacks, then they can avoid a lot of Spider-Ham's threats. So, probably your DOT champs are going to be good. Nick, Venom. Of course, Venom, if he's a Spider-Verse, is always going to be a good bet. True accuracy and other anti-evade mechanics. So, of course, because he is a, Spider-Man, he's gonna have an evade mechanic built in. So Spider-Ham uses evade both on attack and defense, so he struggles against opponents who are able to ignore or disable evade. So a lot of your true strike champs are gonna be good. I have a feeling Venom is going to do highly well against him unless they put in some node where Venom, well. Now he does have built-in physical resistance, so that's kind of nice since the Spideys are usually kind of squishy. All right, so let's take a look at this Spider Nonsense. So Spider-Ham's cartoonish nature increases the more danger he is in. Spider Nonsense starts at 0 and increases over time as long as the opponent has at least 1 bar of power, increasing faster for each additional bar of power they have. Every stack of Spider Nonsense reduces degen effect potency by 15% and passively reduces damage taken during the opponent's special attacks by 5%. So is this guy a mojo counter? I wonder. Well, Spider Nonsense is at 6 or more. Spider-Ham has a 35% chance to evade. This evade will not trigger while blocking. Okay, that's nice. While Spider Nonsense is at 10, Spider-Ham will not gain any for 6.5 seconds, after which it resets back to 0. Spider Nonsense resets to 3 against Mystic Champions. So Spider Nonsense is like his main mechanic. So this also helps him to to kind of grow in other aspects. So when you're playing as him, you want to keep your spider nonsense close to 10. When you're playing against him, you need to keep track of this nonsense, because once he hits 6, he's gonna evade. So when we're fighting him in the event quest, we need to kind of pay attention to that timer. Now, his heavy attacks remove 2 spider nonsense. So when we're fighting him, baiting out those heavies is where it's going to be at. So you can remove that nonsense and keep him below 6 so that he does not evade. All right, let's take a look at his medium attack. So 50% chance to place a porker popper on the opponent for 9 seconds, dealing X direct damage when they activate a special. And so that's another thing you're going to need to watch out for, right? Those porker poppers, if you get any on you. And then the chances increase by 25% flat if the opponent is stunned or if Spider Ham is unblockable. So, the important thing to note here is that his medium attacks apply the poppers. So if you do get hit, don't get hit by his medium attacks. Okay, so then if he's dashing back and holding block, that's going to activate Spider Sense, granting a 100% chance to evade, and this evade will trigger even while blocking. So when this evade triggers, Spider Sense goes on cooldown for 12 seconds. So this is kind of like the anti-Nightcrawler, right? When you want him to dash back and hold block to get him into swashbuckling, you don't want to do that with Spider Ham, because then he's going to evade. Okay, so let's talk about these evade effects. So whenever Spider Ham evades, he becomes unblockable for 1.2 seconds and taunts the opponent for 7 seconds. Opponents that are taunted have their attack reduced by 40% and have a 70% higher chance to activate a special attack, which we all know that's just the basic taunt debuff. So these will occur whenever Spider Ham evades, whether it's through his nonsense by dashing black and holding block, or if it's going to be in some sort of quest buff, which I have a feeling Kabam is going to do. So it looks like he's going to be unblockable for a lot. So this is going to be an interesting event quest. Gonna probably need to work on those intercepting skills. All right, let's talk about porker poppers. So any power sting debuff on the opponent is automatically upgraded into a patent pending Peter Porker power popper debuff. Try saying that 10 times fast. Porker poppers are still treated as power stings for all other abilities. Whenever a porker popper is triggered, there is 8.5% chance per spider nonsense for it to be replaced by 1 new porker popper, each lasting 9 seconds and dealing X damage. Fun. Porker poppers deal a burst of up to 1980 additional passive direct damage when they trigger, scaling with how much power the opponent had. Oof. The additional damage is increased by 60% for each bar of power the opponent had when they were triggered. So they're like power stings, but they're more potent, it seems like. So they deal damage whenever the opponents trigger a special attack max, much like Yellow Jacket's power sting does, and will count as power stings for any quest buff that cares about them. So that's interesting to note, but they deal more damage if you have more power. So we need to keep that in mind when you launch your special, because you don't want to launch a special 3 and have some porker poppers on you. That could be pretty bad. So let's take a look at his special attacks. Special 1, the setup. Pause any porker poppers currently on the opponent until they activate a special attack. After the special attack, taunt the opponent for 7 seconds. So this goes into, you know, what we talked about before about the taunt and everything. So this is going to make sure that your opponent takes damage from porker poppers until the next time they use a special attack. So it also puts a taunt on allowing, you know, if you're playing as Spider Ham, your opponent to throw a special attack again, which will, you know, give more damage thanks to the porker poppers. Special 2, the punchline. This attack is unblockable if the opponent is taunted. Set Spider Sense Nonsense to 10 and pause its reset timer for 7 seconds. It also places 3 porker poppers on the opponent, each lasting 9 seconds and dealing 1584 damage. So this is where, if you're playing as Spider Ham, you want to be to boost up your nonsense and keeping it up there for a while. And then any porker poppers that are there while nonsense is on, are paused and have an 85% chance to be reapplied. So this I have a feeling is what he's gonna want to be throwing in the event quest, is the special 2. All right, so let's take a look at a special 3. That's all, folks. If the opponent has triggered fewer than 15 porker poppers in this fight, place 4 porker poppers on them. If the opponent has triggered 15 or more porker poppers in this fight, place a porker popper on them. Wait, put on them for every porker popper that was triggered. This can only occur once per fight. Max 25 porker poppers. That's a lot. And then each porker popper placed by this attack lasts for 10 seconds and deals 1584 damage. So this could be really bad. This could be really bad because if you launch this and then push your opponent to a special 2, and then they launch that special attack, they'll take a huge burst of damage. They'll take a huge, huge burst of damage. So this guy's looking like he's gonna be a big giant pain in the butt in the event quest. So let's take a look at his signature ability, Hamming It Up. Whenever Spider-Ham evades, he places a porker popper on the opponent. Good to know. Whenever Spider-Ham is struck while stunned, 30% chance to remove 1 spider nonsense and place a non-stacking porker popper on the opponent. So basically you trade nonsense for a popper. These porker poppers last for 14.01 seconds. 0.01? Really? Had to throw in that 0.01? And deal 924 damage. While spider nonsense is at 10, it lasts for an additional 2 seconds before resetting. So it does seem like having Spider-Ham awakened is going to be highly beneficial. So it's definitely a nice way to apply more porker poppers onto the opponent, which it seems like that is where the majority of his damage is going to come from. And that could be really a pain in the butt on defense, that's for sure. So let's take a look at his synergies. 2 days, try 30 years with Miles Morales. So Spider-Ham Spider Nonsense resets to +3 more than it would normally, and Miles Venom Blast can trigger fatigue, stun, and or power drain regardless of the opponent's class. Triggering any Venom Blast debuff grants a Fury buff, increasing attack rating by 20% of base attack for 6 seconds. All right, then he's got morning cartoons with Mojo. So Spider-Ham, whenever an opponent's special attack triggers at least 10 porker poppers, the special attack damage reduction from Spider Nonsense is 100% stronger for that special attack. Mojo, whenever one of the opponent's buffs expires or is nullified, pause the anti-life field for 1 second. So, okay. So basically this doubles the reduction. So if the opponent launches a special attack while they have 10 poppers and Spider-Ham has 10 nonsense, then the special attack won't deal any damage, is essentially what it is. So that's actually a really good synergy for Spider-Ham. Swinester 6 Most Wanted with Spider-Gwen. Spider-Ham, when fighting #Sinister6 or #Symbiote Champions, the damage from Porker Popper debuffs and their additional burst of damage is increased by a flat 50%. Spider-Gwen, when fighting #Sinister6 or Symbiote Champions, Spider-Gwen begins the fight with Trap Spider and Hunter Spider active. Ooh, that's kind of nice for little Spidey Gwen there. So that's a really good synergy. Fourth Wall Crawler with Gwenpool, Goldpool, Platpool, and Squirrel Girl. Spider-Ham Porker Popper duration is increased by 20%. Gwenpool gain vigilance while the opponent is bleeding, making attacks unable to miss. That's really nice. Goldpool, Platpool gain an indefinite fury buff whenever a debuff expires on the opponent, increasing attack rating by +10%, stacking up to 10 times. And then Squirrel Girl, well-timed blocks have a 30% perfect block chance and inflict Tippy's medium attack bleed. Ooh, so those are really nice synergies there. Then he's got teammates with Spider-Man, Spider-Man Starkey, and Stealthy. All champions gain plus perfect block chance. So Spider-Ham is looking to kind of be a bit of a pain in the butt. At least he will be probably in this month's event quest. I'm probably going to be bringing Venom against him. So, but he looks like he's going to be a fun champion. Only time will tell once we can get our hands on him and play with him. I'm definitely looking forward to that. But anyways, guys, that is all that I got. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Spider-Ham? Do you think he sounds like he is going to be a difficult champ to fight in this coming month's event quest? Let me know in the comments below and let's discuss. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching and enjoy this quick word from Kevin Smith.
Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith, and if you enjoyed the mediocre Mcoc video full of scrub gameplay, then show Katy some love by hitting like and subscribe, man. Katy don't ask for much. Katy did ask for this. Katy did. So, do like Katy did and bug people and get you to like and subscribe, man. She's doing that Mcoc beautifully, not mediocre. Katy!